how many incredible games go unnoticed among the constant stream of new releases. Some titles deserve so much more attention, as they are true gems that few people know about. That's exactly what this list is all about. Underrated open-world games that deliver hours of fun, action, and exploration in vast, well-built universes. Each of these games offers a fresh opportunity to dive into unique adventures that you may have never heard of before. This is Jax here, and if you're new to the Play Hunters channel, welcome. I bring you daily content so you don't miss a thing in the world of gaming. If you could subscribe and help me grow, that would make me very happy. From one gamer to another. Starting off our list, we have the Saboteur, a game that blends action with a hint of espionage set in Nazi-occupied Paris during World War II. The environment is a masterpiece on its own, immersing players in the oppressive atmosphere of occupation. The open-world map allows for deep exploration with a color palette that shifts as you liberate areas. This makes gameplay not only immersive but dynamic, creating a unique sense of progress and achievement. In gameplay, players are free to tackle enemies as they wish, whether through direct confrontation or stealthier approaches. This flexibility transforms each mission into a chance to try out different strategies. Customization and combat mechanics add a layer of depth that goes beyond what one might expect in a war game. An engaging soundtrack accompanies each movement, making missions even more impactful. With visuals that adapt to the storyline and well-crafted level design, the game excels in combining action and drama. It's the kind of game where each small victory feels like it changes the environment, making everything more rewarding. This draws players deeper into the historic and electrifying atmosphere, creating a memorable gameplay experience. Moving on, we have Dead Rising 4, which throws players into a chaotic, fun zombie invasion within an open-world setting filled with creative options. The freedom to combine objects and invent quirky weapons makes combat unique and, at times, hilarious, keeping players constantly engaged. The variety in gameplay options keeps every encounter unpredictable and addictive. One moment you're battling a horde with an improvised sword, and the next, you're driving a vehicle customized to crush everything in sight. This mix of chaos and creativity brings a dynamic quality to each challenge, encouraging players to try new tactics as they progress through the map. Full of humor and wild moments, the game shines by not taking itself too seriously, giving players complete freedom to enjoy the action while exploring and surviving in the zombie-infested world. With highly detailed environments and endless challenges, Dead Rising 4 is the kind of game that constantly surprises, making each session an opportunity to face the unexpected. In the third position, we have Atlas Fallen, which transports players to a vast desert teeming with fantastic creatures and secrets buried in the sands. The game offers captivating exploration and breathtaking settings, where every step reveals a new mystery. Detailed environments and adventurous elements blend to create a deep sense of immersion in this harsh, mysterious landscape. The combat mechanics shine with fluidity, making good use of the terrain to set up epic battles with colossal monsters. This intensity in combat drives players to experiment with different tactics, using the landscape and timing to gain strategic advantages. Movement through the desert spaces feels highly satisfying, enabling fast-paced exploration full of action. With creatures and challenges that demand careful planning and adaptability, the game invites players to scour every corner of this desert world. There's always something new to discover among the ruins and rock formations, where imposing enemies lie in wait to test the player's skills. The journey remains captivating, with impressive battles and an atmosphere that never loses its allure. In fourth place, we have 7 Days to Die, a game that combines survival and horror in a zombie-ridden post-apocalyptic setting. Players must gather resources, build shelters, and face waves of undead that grow increasingly dangerous. The dark atmosphere and survival challenges make each day in the game a true struggle for life, keeping tension high with each sunrise. What sets it apart is the ability to construct fortifications and devise defense systems to withstand the nights when zombies become more aggressive. The freedom to plan strategies and adapt to the terrain provides endless tactical options, from improvised fortresses to elaborate traps. With the day-night cycle, gameplay takes on a unique rhythm where each choice can be crucial. Exploring the devastated open world offers players not only resources, but also new threats, encouraging constant skill upgrades to handle rising dangers. This balance between building, combat, and exploration makes the journey of survival amidst chaos intense and full of surprises. In fifth place, we have Gravity Rush 2, a game that plays with physics, offering an adventure in a world where players control gravity. Amid vibrant and lively settings, players explore floating cities and face enemies in aerial battles that defy any ordinary sense of direction. This gravitational control mechanic enables innovative exploration, creating a sense of freedom as players glide through the air in unique ways. Gameplay features dynamic combat, with players shifting gravity to attack from various angles and catch enemies off guard. This skill makes each battle intense and unpredictable, allowing players to approach opponents from surprising angles. The variety of skills and upgrades makes each move more impactful, motivating players to master the mechanics to face the challenges. Exploring the suspended landscapes and uncovering every corner of the floating cities enriches the immersion. With each mission, players encounter new facets of this detailed universe, unfolding in a visually stunning environment. With so many possibilities for movement, this adventure offers a fresh perspective in open-world games, where creativity and gravity mastery are key to success. In sixth place, we have Far Cry Primal, transporting players to a prehistoric era where survival relies on primal skills and courage. Set in a wild, life-filled world, the game puts players in the role of a hunter, surrounded by mammoths, saber-toothed tigers, and rival tribes. Its rustic atmosphere and survival elements create a sense of truly stepping back into the Stone Age, with limited resources and constant threats. Gameplay shines through the use of handcrafted weapons, like spears and bows, forcing players to adopt more strategic approaches in each encounter. The ability to control wild animals is a unique feature, allowing players to tame fierce creatures to assist in battles or exploration. This adds an element of unpredictability, as players can be taken by surprise at any moment, whether by a predator or an enemy lurking among the trees. Each corner of the map holds a new challenge, from scarce resources to dangerous areas inhabited by beasts. The feeling of isolation and the need to adapt make the game engaging, as players try to thrive in a world where they are both hunter and hunted. With such an authentic setting, this game stands out by transporting players to ancient times in a remarkable way. In seventh place, we have Scum, a survival game that delves deep into character management and physical needs. Set on a perilous island with other players, players must manage everything from health to nutrition and energy levels to stay alive. This level of realism makes each decision vital, whether it's choosing the right food or even pacing yourself during a hike, adding a unique survival approach. The combat and exploration systems allow for rare immersion, as players face zombies and other adversaries while searching for the island's best resources. The environment is unforgiving, and any mistake can come at a high cost, making each battle and movement require careful planning. With constant threats around, players can also customize their skills, adding a strategic edge to each encounter. Every session reveals new layers of complexity, from interacting with the environment to detailed character condition monitoring. With each discovery and encounter, players dive deeper into a setting where survival and intellect are essential. Realism and the freedom of choice make this a unique and challenging journey in the survival game universe. In eighth place, we find Watch Dogs, an open-world game that explores the world of hackers and digital surveillance in a meticulously detailed city. Players step into the role of a skilled hacker who can manipulate electronic systems and intervene in the city's infrastructure. This premise creates an intriguing setting where technology is both a tool and a weapon, immersing players in urban dynamics with a touch of espionage. Gameplay combines stealth, exploration, and combat, demanding varied strategies depending on the situation. Using devices and hacking skills to control cameras and systems, missions gain a swift, innovative pace, allowing creative approaches to overcome challenges. The interaction with the urban environment is extensive, and players can influence the storyline in various ways, from direct attacks to discreet infiltrations. The highly detailed urban setting keeps players attentive to every move and choice, offering a vibrant environment full of possibilities. Each action has repercussions, drawing players into the complex layers of the storyline's technological intricacies. With these mechanics and a city that feels alive, this game stands out by delivering a unique perspective on control, surveillance, and power. In ninth place, we have Sable, a game that combines exploration and narrative in a unique journey through mysterious deserts and ancient ruins. Players assume the role of a young explorer on a quest for self-discovery, set in a stunning landscape that blends futuristic culture with ancient traditions. The immersive soundtrack and stylized visuals create an atmospheric experience, leading players to reflect on the journey and the themes presented. Gameplay focuses on exploration, allowing players to roam vast, detailed landscapes where each location seems to tell its own story. Without combat to distract, attention is directed to discovery, encouraging players to investigate every corner and interact with enigmatic characters and structures. This style provides a relaxing pace, where immersion in the journey becomes the central focus. Each element, from navigating dunes to the deep silence of ruins, contributes to a feeling of introspection and personal discovery. The journey through the desert reveals hidden mysteries and light challenges, allowing curiosity and contemplation to guide every step. The balance between narrative and exploration transforms this adventure into a contemplative and memorable journey. In 10th place, we have Mafia, Definitive Edition, which takes players back to the American Mafia era of the 1930s in a fictional city inspired by Chicago. The storyline involves organized crime and loyalty, offering an engaging narrative as players follow the life of a taxi driver drawn into the Mafia. The careful recreation of the period and detailed environments add realism to the journey, making the setting authentic and full of tension. Gameplay mixes action-packed missions with moments of city exploration, where players can choose to complete objectives directly or use more subtle strategies. Combat is intense, and the variety of weapons and vehicles from the period allows players to experiment with different tactics during missions. Each action has consequences, heightening the sense of tension and danger surrounding the Mafia world. The dark atmosphere and complex characters make every scene memorable, with twists that keep players engaged with the story. Each detail in the setting and interaction strengthens immersion, creating a unique ambience faithful to the period. This return to the Mafia era offers a distinctive glimpse into a time when power and loyalty meant everything. In 11th place, we have Sunset Overdrive, a game that breaks the mold by placing players in a chaotic city where contaminated energy has turned the population into dangerous mutants. With a vibrant and colorful aesthetic, the game brings a light, comedic tone, transforming the apocalypse into a playground where players can move freely and stylishly. The visuals and soundtrack complement the fast-paced rhythm, adding a humorous flair to every mission. Gameplay is defined by agile movement, allowing players to grind on rails, scale buildings, and perform acrobatic jumps while unleashing creative attacks against hordes of enemies. This system encourages strategic use of the environment, creating an innovative and engaging combat dynamic. Unusual weapons, like disc launchers and flashy explosives, heighten the fun and make each battlefield unique. Every part of the city unveils new challenges and possibilities for experimentation, encouraging players to explore and master movement and combat techniques. The blend of humor, action, and freedom transforms this apocalypse into a vibrant, energetic adventure that brings a refreshing twist to the open-world genre. In 12th place, we have Mad Max, which places players in a post-apocalyptic desert full of dangers and challenges. Inspired by the film universe, the game offers an arid, brutal setting where players face gangs and explore vast, devastated areas. The protagonist's thirst for vengeance drives the plot, while the desolate landscape and resource scarcity add tension and authenticity to the journey. Gameplay combines intense combat with vehicle customization, allowing players to adapt their car to handle threats on the road. In high-speed battles, action becomes unpredictable, demanding risky maneuvers and improvised weapons. Each encounter on the road becomes a fight for survival, where driving skill is as important as combat prowess. Each area on the map reveals dangers, enemies, and valuable resources, encouraging players to explore and upgrade both their vehicle and skills. The arid landscape and constant battles against hostile gangs keep the tension high, creating an atmosphere that holds attention and challenges with every mile traveled. In 13th place, we have State of Decay 2, a survival game where players must lead a group through a zombie outbreak. The brutal environment is unforgiving, with scarce resources and the constant need to make tough choices. The zombie apocalypse setting becomes even more intense with the responsibility of managing a community, where each member's skills and weaknesses impact the group's survival. The game mechanics encourage careful planning, as players decide when to explore, confront enemies, or reinforce the base. Each choice directly affects the physical and emotional state of the survivors, creating a cycle of ongoing tension. Exploration missions offer chances to find supplies and recruit new members, but always with the risk of running into hordes of the undead. The dynamic environment and uniquely skilled characters make each session different, keeping players on their toes with every move. Balancing resources and handling unexpected events turns the journey into a true survival struggle, where leadership and strategy determine who lives and who falls to chaos. Next, we have Okami, a game that immerses players in a journey inspired by Japanese mythology, where the protagonist is a divine wolf tasked with restoring nature in a cursed world. With visuals reminiscent of traditional paintings and a unique art direction, the game brings an artistic touch that enchants in every setting. The narrative is deeply engaging, taking players on an adventure that blends action with exploration. The core mechanic, the Celestial Brush, allows players to draw elements to manipulate the environment, solve puzzles, and battle enemies. This innovative approach makes every interaction with the setting creative, giving gameplay a distinctive and engaging rhythm. The system encourages discovering new abilities, making each combat and puzzle an opportunity to experience the brush's power. With stunning environments and a world filled with legends and mythical creatures, the journey leads players through varied areas, where challenges and allies await. The combination of mythology, art, and gameplay mechanics turns this adventure into something truly special, allowing players to explore a universe that skillfully blends tradition and fantasy. In 15th place, we have Fade to Silence, a survival game set in an apocalyptic winter where players face supernatural creatures in an unforgiving climate. The icy, oppressive atmosphere amplifies the challenge of every move, creating a setting where the cold is as dangerous as the enemies. Every decision requires thought, as resource scarcity and constant threats make the journey intense and demanding. Gameplay combines exploration and combat, encouraging players to hunt and gather supplies to survive the severe conditions. Building shelters and managing resources are essential, as each expedition brings new dangers that require strategy and caution. While combat is important, it is just one part of the balance between survival and adaptation. The dynamic weather and day-night cycle directly impact decisions, with storms and extreme cold adding further hostility to the environment. Recruiting allies and forming a group adds complexity, as each member brings skills and resources that may be crucial. This frozen, deadly landscape makes each step forward feel like a small victory against a world that never stops pressing. In 16th place, we have Outward, a survival and exploration game that casts players as an ordinary adventurer in a fantasy world brimming with challenges. Unlike typical heroes, players must manage basic needs such as hunger, thirst, and sleep while exploring hostile, unknown lands. This setup brings a more realistic approach where each step needs to be calculated to avoid traps and ambushes. Gameplay requires preparation and planning, as players must carry provisions and select the right equipment for each situation. Combat is tough and demands attention to movement and positioning, as a single misstep can have severe consequences. The option to cooperate with other players adds an extra layer of strategy, allowing for safer exploration of the world's dangers. Each region offers something unique, from climate challenges to deadly creatures, encouraging players to develop skills and adapt their tactics. This richly detailed and perilous environment turns each journey into a true odyssey, where persistence and intelligence make all the difference in the path to survival. In 17th place, we have Rage 2, a game that takes players to a vibrant, chaotic post-apocalyptic world filled with explosions, speed, and intense battles. The setting is packed with violent factions, modified vehicles, and a wild arsenal of weapons, creating an atmosphere where adrenaline is constant. With an aesthetic blending bright colors and brutal style, the game offers a universe where chaos and freedom go hand in hand. The combat system is dynamic and encourages creative use of abilities and weapons, allowing players to unleash devastating attacks in any scenario. The ability to use special powers and face enemies in varied ways keeps encounters unpredictable. Unlockable abilities and a diverse arsenal make each battle an opportunity to try new, brutal combinations. Exploring the world brings valuable rewards and challenges that test players' adaptability. The detailed setting and encounters with factions and dangerous creatures keep players alert, offering a game where speed and aggression are essential to surviving an unforgiving environment. Next, we have The Long Dark, a survival game set in a cold, desolate landscape where nature is the greatest enemy. Situated in Canada's wilderness, the game challenges players with freezing temperatures, scarce resources, and an atmosphere that blends solitude with danger. Strategy and attention to detail are essential for enduring the extreme conditions and surviving the adversities. Gameplay revolves around managing essential resources like warmth, food, and energy, requiring players to make calculated choices to avoid risks. Gathering supplies and finding safe shelter are constant necessities, while the unpredictable environment adds urgency. Without traditional combat, the real challenge is surviving the relentless cold and unexpected encounters with wild animals. Each day brings new dangers, and the snow and isolation make the setting both a refuge and a trap. The inhospitable landscapes and the need for constant adaptation make every step forward a victory against the harsh winter. Amid the frozen silence, players discover that every decision is crucial in overcoming the threats of an unforgiving environment. In 19th place, we have Sleeping Dogs, set in the bustling streets of Hong Kong, where players take on the role of an undercover agent in the criminal underworld. The vibrant, detailed urban environment allows for immersive exploration, while the plot mixes action and drama in a story full of twists. With rich details, the game creates an intense atmosphere of clashing loyalties and constant danger. Gameplay combines hand-to-hand combat, chases, and shootouts, with a range of skills players can upgrade throughout the story. The fluid combat mechanics offer a fighting system reminiscent of classic martial arts, making battles dynamic and challenging. The city is full of side missions and activities, encouraging players to explore every corner and engage with local challenges. Each mission places players in situations that demand tough choices, where the tension between duty and loyalty drives the story forward. Complex characters and power struggles add unique depth, while the vibrant urban environment ensures each moment is packed with action and suspense. This combination turns Hong Kong into a true battleground between justice and crime. Next, we have Generation Zero, a survival and combat game set in 1980 Sweden, where hostile machines have taken over. Players find themselves in a desolate setting of abandoned villages and mysterious forests, uncovering what happened to the local population. The mysterious atmosphere and period details create a unique, immersive setting, transporting players to an alternate version of recent history. Gameplay involves both exploration and combat strategies, requiring players to use the environment to survive machine attacks. Cooperation is a central aspect, allowing up to 4 players to team up to face dangers more efficiently. Smart use of weapons and knowledge of the terrain are essential for overcoming challenges and advancing through the map. Each region presents a mix of new dangers and rewards, encouraging players to explore thoroughly. The constant tension and sounds of nearby machines intensify the atmosphere, creating a setting where awareness and planning are crucial. This alternate, hostile world pits players in a relentless battle for survival, where past and future collide in an unforgiving struggle. After exploring this list of underrated games, one question remains. How many of these have you played? And among them, which ones became your favorites? Each of these games offers something unique, from immersive settings and intense combat to the freedom of exploration. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Which of these games won you over, and which would you recommend to any gaming fan? If there's an underrated game that we missed, share it with us in the comments. Let's help more people discover hidden gems that deserve recognition. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications to keep up with more content like this. I'm leaving another video in the card with recommendations of games that are worth every second of gameplay. Take a look, I'm sure you'll find something new. Just click to watch.